Starting.
Good evening. Welcome to Southwick Conservation Commission. Monday, January 8th, 2024, 7 p.m. I'm Dennis Clark. I'm going to be acting as chair tonight. Chris is sick. We do have a forum. Start from Kevin.
Kevin Solar, Jerry Patrick,
Dennis Clark.
Andy Reardon.
And Sabrina Pooler, coordinator.
And Norm.
And Norm Cheever on Zoom.
Hey, you want to start with the minutes?
Sure. You guys should have it in your packets.
Maybe just one set,
Was that
one set of minutes.
for our last meeting? One sheeter. Is it one sheet? Is it?
No, they're
They're passable.
4 pages.
Oh,
on back.
Dennis is a mess.
For conserving paper.
So 2 sheets, right?
All right.
They're 2 sheets. front and
Okay,
back.
so you got them. That's this.
Here's copies of the. Look at it.
What do you have any comments on it? Changes?
Anyone? So many on the first page.
Which one is that, Chair?
First page.
Ah,
Let's go right.
waiting for you.
Happy New Year.
She's the one that told me.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
All right, so we're gonna correct the spelling of Mr. Patria's last name.
Yes.
They started in Boston.
Boston
In. This morning. So,
this morning?
Yeah.
So you stay overnight?
okay, so I had a couple
Oh,
of,
back and forth.
you gotta drive in. I had a couple of, corrections. 31 Sam Brush, West Road, possible wetland violation. Commissioner Clark made a motion to issue an enforcement order. Change that to the latest. Yeah, cool. Change that to issue and ratify. Ratify. We took a vote on ratifying, guys. We don't have to do that again. And erosion control monitor, DEP 2920416, 72A Mort Vining Road. Commissioner Clark made a motion to have Mr. Smith, Salvini Associates appointed as a erosion control monitor for the property. I made a motion to approve Mr. Smith. Anybody else got any changes, corrections?
I have none.
Norm?
I have none.
Say something?
You did?
Kevin, well done.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, with a motion to approve minutes,
Make a motion to approve the minute.
Andy made the motion. I'll second that. Matt seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Kevin, I.
Jerry, aye.
Jerry, I. Dennis, I. Aye.
Aye.
Mehmet, I. And Andy, I.
Norm is an
It
I
seems-
too.
Norm is an I too, right? We got that out of the way. It reminds me, this is a hybrid meeting, so we do have Zoom participants tonight. Shall we open it up for any public comments? Anything that's nothing? Okay, so I guess we could 705 NOI 81 Point Grove Road. Was that a continuation? Did they request a continuation for that tonight?
Yeah, they requested a continuation.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Norm will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Kevin, I. Larry, aye. Dennis, I.
Andy, aye.
Norm, aye.
Unanimous. Okay, so right on time here. 62A College Highway, you guys wanna come up and start the
662A.
How you guys doing?
Let's see.
Happy New Year and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks for meeting tonight.
You're welcome.
It's like CC presentation 1-8. And then that one PDF that is there. The plan set, and figure we can use this for talking points.
It's one moment. I gotta share it on Zoom.
Okay, great.
No, yeah, you're right about that. No? And this is from 22. Here, okay.
All right, so. Norm, can you see it?
I can.
Clicking to. Hey. Next page, page, yes.
Okay, I see. See.
Get the full screen too, which is.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
We in the way now?
So if I could just start it up a little bit, the last couple meetings that we were here,
So maybe what's your name?
Jim Boyle, the owner.
And my name's Doug Searle. I'm with Berkshire Design Group. Also, in the Zoom, there's Chris Chamberlain is also with Berkshire Design Group. And Dan Nietzsche is with GZA. He's a wetland scientist that was also on this project.
So, yeah, so we were here a couple weeks ago, before the holidays, and, I think the couple weeks before that, we had almost come to a finish on the plan. We had been waiting on comment from the DPW, I think, which we got in, and, so the following meeting after that, which was a couple weeks ago, I had asked if we could do a draft order of conditions and get going on it, because you guys had been talking about the order of conditions before. And then talking with Sabrina over the week, she talked about getting a draft ready for us, so we're hoping to kind of go over and get the order conditions tonight. And so I have Doug with me to answer any possible questions that may come up in the wetlands and all that.
So just to clarify, a draft versus an order of conditions, the order of conditions would be finalized, but a draft is not.
Well, I mean, get the order conditions, and if we can pass it tonight and get it ready, then yeah, but
Are you guys ready?
we're ready.
Well, then we should just vote on it tonight.
There's a couple of things that I did want to bring up.
Yeah, I have some issues too.
Okay, oh, okay.
Then we'd like to ultimately discuss those, I guess, and move towards an order of conditions.
Okay, well, you want to start with Sabrina, what you have?
Yeah, so in our last meeting, or was it the meeting prior, we had talked about snow storage. And I noticed, how snow storage was, if you can see my mouse, I guess mistakenly left over here. And I assume that has since, nope, it hasn't been fixed. So it does say snow storage rate over next to the wetland, and that was an issue. And during that meeting, who was it? It was Chris who said that, oh, that was a mistake, and really the snow storage was going to be up here in the basin. When in the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, Borough Water Resources, a snow disposal guidance, it actually says that you need to avoid disposing snow into a stormwater basin. So I do not recommend having the snow storage over there, and I suggest that it be somewhere else.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm realistically, there'll be very little snow down. Most of the snow will be up in the back of the property. I mean, there's so much room back there. There's no reason to have really anything down below.
In the back of the probably
Yeah, there's
on the impervious.
No, there's a small area to the east of the impervious location where we're calling out for snow storage along that eastern edge of the proposed asphalt area. So
Oh,
further to the right side of the plan.
to the right over.
Yeah, the far upper edge, that.
Right up
whole-
here?
Yeah, just that eastern border of the asphalt area and down all along that entire edge.
So you're gonna truck it up there, or you're gonna just be able to plow it all the way?
No, I mean, when we plow these things, we're plowing every couple inches, so we're not ever letting it become a big hazard up there, so we would just push it right up there and. I think that's pretty simple.
I did notice it does say snow storage for
Points
that.
around the area, really that he's sort of proposing the snow storage.
In this area.
There's kind of a dashed oval that is along that edge, if that's possible to see.
Let's try to. You said it dashed
Snow storage is, yeah.
That's right, there's kind of a,
this up.
that's
Here.
correct, yeah, there's a dashed kind of polygon along that edge, essentially just to delineate that is the edge outside the pavement where there's room for snow storage. And there's also two locations that are shown on the northwest side of the driveway, which are both in those the infiltration basin number 2 and also infiltration basin number 1.
Oh, sorry, I have to admit that.
Thanks for navigating all that.
Yeah,
So it's better there than in the basin.
Yeah, it shouldn't be in either of the basins at all.
Okay, noted.
Another thing, so you have the buffer, not the buffer, the replication area up here. And I would assume that the replication would need 50-foot, 100-foot buffer. Where's the buffer area for this replication?
From that replication area. Chris, might I ask you to check?
So on the plans that we have not shown a buffer area around the replication, I might defer to Dan as to whether that typically would be included on these
It
plans.
it doesn't exist right now, so that would not be a condition. It's going to be a condition the next time someone tries to propose work out in this area, but right now, there's no buffer zone. It's not constructed yet. So you wouldn't put that additional buffer zone on, you would just use the buffer zone to the resources that are there currently.
Makes sense.
So we wouldn't want necessarily a buffer for the replication?
Well, there will be when the replication turns into a wetland area,
Mhm.
resource area. But it
And if
isn't now.
right, and if people propose work again, then that has a buffer zone with all of your bylaw and state regulations would associate with that.
So how far away is the infiltration basin to the proposed replication?
That's a
Yeah.
good question.
If the question is related to a buffer zone that would be caused by the replication area, that's not on the table, to be honest with you. It doesn't exist.
Right, I
It-
understand
it-
that. It's just the point of having the replication is to have success, and the buffer does function for the wetland. And so that's just one of my concerns is if there's no buffer, will the wetland actually be successful?
Well, I mean, what's there isn't, there's no, buildings, there's just really.
Nothing
grass
proposed in
and
that area.
Yeah, there's no impervious surface that's proposed, immediately adjacent to it. The infiltration basin number one is, I don't know the exact number, but it's approximately 25 to 30 feet from the proposed area. So there is space there, but no, there's not a buffer drawn around the proposed wetland replacement area.
It's gonna be basically a buffer as it is, because there's nothing going there, so.
It's currently within the 50-foot buffer of the existing wetland area.
Mm.
But that's where it would have to be in order to connect hydrologically with the existing wetland.
Mm.
And then once it is established, then it would have a buffer for any future effort if somebody in the future, Jim or any other future owner of the property wanted to do any development or redevelopment.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it would require that, obviously.
Okay. So I have a question for you, Dennis, and this is gonna be for Chris. Is there a wetland replication in the O'Reilly property?
Yes,
I didn't see it on the plan.
you can see it on the O'Reilly. plan.
No. But there is, and there is a wetland, like right around in this area.
It's close to where, yeah. it's right,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, I looked that up and it was not there, or,
I don't know if we ever give a certificate of compliance on that, or, but that's other than this.
yep. And then the next one, I have, and you might have it too, is, Vic from DPW, he had a comment. Did you want to read that? No, you don't need, that's,
Does the 662A self-storage design have provisions for interior perimeter drains going to a tight tank, so any possible chemical release from improper storage of material is there and is duly captured, not allowed to leave the property? This is not from DPW, this is from, yeah, it is from DPW, and that's not a conservation issue, this is planning in stormwater.
okay,
And it's
Yeah,
not, that's not
We did receive that comment today, and are going to be addressing that with planning.
I had a email from a concerned citizen. And they're claiming that there was no public input on this. So I just want to make sure that this is read, kind of lengthy. But I just want to make sure it's read, so we can't say you don't have any public input. Greetings. On December 4th, 2023, Southwick Conservation Commission held an open meeting hearing to review the plans for 662A College Highway. There are items on the plans that customarily Southwick Conservation Commission would have discussed and should discuss, but seemed to overlook. It almost appeared that the board was very distracted by establishing the resource area boundaries and that these other items were passed over without review. Very importantly, the plan review and meeting were never open to public comment. I'm not sure about that, but this is why we're doing this today. The plans show roadway and retention wall built within the 50-foot resource area setback on the east side of the property. Many recent applicants have had to redesign their plans to stay out of the 50-foot area. The plans show snow storage inside the stormwater detention basin, very close to the resources area. Mass DEP, Bureau of Water Resources, snow disposal guidance states avoid disposing of snow on top of storm drain, catch basins, or in stormwater drainage basins, including detention basins, swales, or ditches. If the snow were to be placed in the stormwater detention basin, the basin capacity would be increased to accommodate the unknown volume of snow stored in addition to the anticipated stormwater volume. The snow would apparently be dumped over the guardrail into the basin, potentially blocking the basin inlet. I think it's just what we kind of talked about. The snow disposal guidance further states the key to selecting effective snow disposal sites, locate them adjacent or to on impervious surfaces in upland areas or upland locations on impervious surfaces away from the water resources. Southwick bylaw also notes that site design should not impact the quality, salinity, or temperature of water within the resource area. Storing stone detention ponds adjacent to the resource areas would potentially affect the quantity, salinity, and temperature of the water within the adjacent resource area. The applicants state the use of salt or other melting chemicals would be limited, given that a large portion of driveway is located on the slope of the north side of the two-story building. The use of ice melt is going to be required as the sun will never shine upon that area. The original setback requirements of 50 feet would have left ample space along the perimeter of the property for snow storage. There was some discussion about the replication area. The Massachusetts Inland Wetland Replication Guidelines offer a lot of guidance, answers, and direction to all the questions raised. And it goes on about the replication to be monitored for 2 years and 75% of the surface area replication site should be reestablished. The order of conditions may be extended if it's about to expire. I think we did discuss all of that at the last meeting. There was also discussion about existing reed canary grass infesting a proposed replication area. Reed canary grass is an invasive wetland plant. It seems odd that a replication is going to occur in an area already hosting wetland plants. I believe we discussed that in pretty much detail. The soils in that area did not indicate that it was wetland, but it was consistent with what the wetland consultant often stated, that the soils have been altered and moved around over the years, agricultural use. Reed canary grass is also very capable of overwhelming or crowding out saplings or small trees or shrubs. The applicants specifically stated that is their intention to plant many small trees throughout the property. The replication guidelines recommend that during the monitoring period, any invasives be handpicked before becoming widespread and established. Once the replication area is established, it will have to have a 50-foot buffer delineated. The plans do not show a 50-foot buffer around the newly established wetland. It's worth noting that there is proposed construction in the 50-foot buffer of the replication area. And he finishes it up. This property poses many challenges. It has been left undeveloped for many years even though many people looked upon to build upon it. The applicant purchased the property outright at a bargain price, knowing its restrictions, bylaws, and challenges associated with this parcel. The applicant has sought and obtained variances and continues to seek more variances and accommodations to bylaws and standards. We can all rest assured that the applicant was well aware that a profitable business could be sited on this property, even if no variances or accommodations were granted. The proposed building can be scaled back without breaking the bank. There's ample room for all the required by governing bodies as well as desired by the applicant. It's also worth noting that many applicants recently have had to redesign their plans to comply with bylaws and standards. The residents of the town of Southwick have been very vocal recently about preserving the nature and character of Southwick. The above noted areas of concern, along with other areas of concern brought forward, should be discussed and seriously considered.
Can I ask who wrote it?
Excuse me? Yeah, this is,
What? I wrote that.
yeah, this is public. It's, we'll post it with the minutes, so it'll be for public viewing. But yeah, it was from Andy, and Andy has a storage facility, as you probably know, and he went through all the wetland stuff because he was within a resort or close to a resource area and an aquifer. Was that what the other part was? So I think
Well, an aquifer makes it a lot different.
yeah.
Like a major, it's
Yeah.
not what I'm trying to do. I'm not over the aquifer.
I just want to make sure that
So
all
you
the
sat here
concerns are
during the
addressed.
meeting and just took the information and instead of just letting us know during the meeting, you just pop this on us at the end.
Was this ever open to public review?
Are you sitting here calling your board out? You're sitting on the
plan.
board, but then you're saying that they did something wrong?
This plan was never open to public. This particular plan was never open to.
Well,
public.
we're having public comments tonight, so it's open to the public
And
now.
I said this.
But if you want to make comments, you're gonna have to go sit out in the audience, Andy.
I mean, what's going? You're supposed to be part of the town and you're sitting here with an attack. So when I come in, it's full attack.
We're gonna just consider him as a private resident that, you know, aired his concerns and the commission heard them. And I think we've addressed. Sabrina thoroughly addressed the snow issue. And everything else, I believe, has been addressed as far as the reed canary grass, the replication area, the bond. We've gone through it in excruciating detail to make sure that everything is done correctly. But I just want to make sure public comments are in the record and that that's not going to be an issue.
Yeah,
And
Thank you.
Does the commission have any questions about that, or we could, do our best to further answer any one of those issues if anybody still.
Does the public have any comments? Anybody on the line?
No.
No.
So we prepared to close the meeting?
I think, Jess, do you have a comment? I don't know if you're raising your hand or.
Yeah, actually, I was trying to find the button. Yeah. So the MSWMP reconstruction guidelines in 245 does talk about, you were talking about earlier, the 50 buffer, 50. Sorry, it's Jessica.
State your name and address.
Oh, Jessica Burden, 23 Woodside Circle.
I just said what was.
Yeah.
None of what I wrote is an fact. Factual fact. You're within 50 feet here. You got snow in the detention pond.
You have to write the, the area
And
concerns, and we've done that, and I think we've discussed that, and we appreciate your input, it's. But thank you.
It's just
Yeah.
the fact.
Well,
Is it agreeing with that?
make sure we dot our i's and cross our t's, and
So
It's
did Jess have
fair.
a comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna wait. So I'm not familiar with the plan, this plan. This is the first time I've seen it, but for the 50-yard buffer that we were saying for the reconstructed wetlands, that it doesn't come into play until after it exists. There does seem to be discussion of that in the MS MWP 2.5 245 stormwater management guidelines. So from Mass DEP does seem to discuss that.
But the replication area is not a stormwater basin. It's got nothing to do with stormwater.
Correct. Yeah, I was just wanted to point that out because I know there was, it seemed questions. I'm still reading as quickly as I can here. But yeah, stormwater.
Well, thank you very much for your
Right, yeah.
comment.
No, I was just wanted to, you guys seem to have concern
I
about
think-
that viaduct
It's-
there,
it's
so
50
there's
foot
definitely documentation on it.
50-foot buffer, not 50-yard buffer, and I think we've read into the minutes, everything we need to do, and I'm looking for a motion to close the hearing.
I'll second.
Mehmet made a motion to close the hearing. You, Kevin, seconded it? All in favor?
Jerry, I.
Dennis, I.
Yep.
Mehmet, I.
And then Norm.
Aye.
Norm? Aye,
Thank you, guys.
all right.
So I wanted to do something different with the order of conditions.
Okay, Sabrina has drafted an order of conditions and it's all the standard DEP, check boxes all the way through for all the order conditions, it's just all the normal stuff. Plus, we put our own order conditions in there for the bond.
Okay.
Um,
And there might be a couple of things, because I didn't add in this draft, and I wanted everyone to sort of chime in on it. The timeline for the replication, because that was talked about. Did we want to add partial release of bond if there's a certain compliance going through?
that's always on the table. That's something that's on the table.
Does it need to be
It
added?
doesn't have to be added.
All right, so I just wanted to,
I think that what you wrote as a draft looked good. If you want to hand it to these guys just so they can take a look at it before we
so it's not complete. I wanted, so we have some of the standards, but then we have some special ones, special order of conditions, and I'll bring it up in a moment. I have to
Thank you.
take your little doggle out. There's some special conditions here, and next to all the special conditions are little check boxes. So if the commission wants the condition,
I would like to put all the conditions and these guys look at them. If there's anything they can't live with, they'll tell us and we'll cross it out, okay?
okay,
But we're gonna put all the conditions that we have on there, because that's what we normally do anyway. We take check all the boxes on the order conditions, DEP, E-file, plus our extra order conditions. You guys take a quick look at it. If there's any you can't live with, then let us know right now so we can vote on this tonight.
Okay.
Sabrina, can you put that on the screen, please?
yeah. And did you guys get a chance to look at this at all? It's in your packet.
Never gone.
Never gone through.
We close the meeting, we make our conditions and then.
We just vote on the condition with the bond,
What is the bond?
30,000.
30?
So
We could do that and we should do that.
do what?
Vote on it.
Okay. Without looking through it?
I'm gonna say that we're gonna use all the conditions in here unless there's something in there that jumps out at you that's impossible. I don't think there is, because it's just standard order conditions unless we,
Yeah, if you want Sabrina to put it up, to pull out that thumb drive and
Is
put
it transcend?
up on the screen, Transcend is that thumb drive, yeah.
Okay.
So the bond's 30, because that's something that we can change. What is it?
no,
Normally we do.
no, it's all the normal stuff, so normally just vote on it.
And then that's like a DEP thing. They probably have to do that prior to construction unless it's like,
Yeah,
depending on the time of year. Say they're gonna start now, DEP, I know in the past has said it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make
Like,
sense.
You might actually do that, like some of the earthwork, but not actually like plant or seed anything right now, right? I mean,
Yeah, and we could have, Dan Nish is the wetland, has been part of the project that understands the regulations pretty much better than anyone, just because that's his.
Yeah.
his-
With $30,000 bond, they're gonna
We
want
could
to
have
have
him,
applications
you know,
on this in files. And,
I mean, we would look over, it's just a few that you add and
yeah,
we
Right.
wouldn't, all the standard ones.
and all DEP stuff anyway, just the last page of this.
So it's just the last page.
Yeah, I mean, conditions 1 through 19 are the standard conditions on any order, and then special conditions, that's what you should be looking at. Don't worry about 1 through 19. It's the special conditions that the Conservation Commission would like to add in addition to the standard conditions.
They would be the non-bold ones. So these are the special conditions that I'm looking at right here are the special conditions that are on the Mass DEP special
Okay.
conditions. And I have.
So we're additional conditions from
Right.
local bylaw conditions.
So I have this broken up into administrative pre-construction,
They're
during-
all standard boilerplate.
site stabilization. Snow,
Have to get rid of that sign that says, Southwick, no.
well, it's not, so I made this so we could click it. We can click it. So for example, there's a snow removal through the Mass DEP.
Well, all of, everything on there is gonna be the order conditions, including our additional order conditions. Everything. Yeah,
I'm good with it.
I've done them dozens of times, that we're gonna click on them all, we're gonna take a vote on, can I get a motion? Take a vote on?
I'm actually good, so. with these
So-
conditions.
Question, are there any new special conditions on there?
There's some that I haven't even added because I wanted the commission to reiterate.
Which ones do you wanna add?
It was the timeline for the replication. So do we want to be 5 years?
Monitoring of the
Right.
replication.
Monitoring,
The state regulations require 3. Or within two growing seasons, we have to have 75% regrowth of wetland plants.
but then we were talking about monitoring for,
The longer,
yeah,
under your
They had
bylaw, okay.
That. So is that the only thing that you wanna add?
Monitoring of the replication is important.
So do an additional 2 years monitoring?
2 growing seasons, like you said.
Well, it's gonna be 3 under state and then an additional 2 under local, so,
So 5.
so 5 total.
Well, let me put this out there, Sabrina and the rest of the commission. If we achieve the 75% regrowth in the second or third growing season, couldn't we just stop? I mean, we would let you know, obviously, we're giving you reports, and we would, under the state regulations, we can basically request to stop the monitoring because we've achieved the goal.
I have
Goodness.
one question too. Well, so if we extend that over, his bond is for 3 years or the, like.
Bond is like a certificate of compliance.
So if they don't get a certificate of compliance because we're monitoring it for longer than 3 years, how is that all gonna work?
They would have to hold that bond for 5 years.
And so what we talked about a couple meetings ago was reducing the bond initially upon construction and then each year after that, to sort of cover the monitoring and establishment period.
I think we're just concerned about the invasives, coming back in an extra couple of years might give us buy us a little extra time for fighting the invasives.
I think it's fine to have the 5-year. It's just, there should be, in my opinion, there should be a clause that allows us to get out from the permit if we've achieved goals. But if you wanna monitor it for 5 years to monitor the potential canary grass, then, I mean, that's your call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that one extra additional condition, do I hear a motion to approve the order conditions?
I'll make, What is that order from in just the order of conditions right now or the project?
The order of conditions with all the boilerplate
Order.
standards,
Okay,
with the $30,000 bond. With the monitoring for an additional 2 years.
so we're voting on that, then the project.
Excuse
Because
me.
normally we approve the project and the order of conditions together. Are we voting?
We already closed the hearing.
Closed it. We
Yeah.
voted on that and then we normally vote just to approve conditions. Are we
Yeah,
making
that's
a
what
third vote or?
No, that's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah, approve the project with conditions.
Standard conditions. The additional. Yeah, that's one of them, right, with the $30,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes,
Aye.
Jerry, I. Dennis, I. Matt, I. Norm?
Norm is an aye.
Aye, that's unanimous.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hold on to a copy of this or?
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Good night. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Okay, so we got an RDA. There's no time on it, but it's 520 College Highway.
Plan with me, or I can just kind of lay it out here.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yep. Good evening. My name is Philippe Cravo, Varlovec Associates, project engineer at the company. Ryan was had a conflict tonight, so I'm here in his stead. So I'll just kind of give you a brief update or overview of the application, and we can sort of discuss it from there. So we have filed an RDA, request for determination of applicability, for the applicants, Mr. Allen and Patricia Gendron, for the property at 520 College Highway. We had gone through the planning process to get a special permit for the existing one-story building that's behind the
We had something, oh, you got it on the.
yeah, I didn't have flash drive with.
This is what you're looking at, right?
Yes, yep,
Okay.
yes, that's the same thing. So the proposed work is within the buffer zone to a wetland that's towards the rear of the property that you can see, which is off towards the eastern side. This area is located behind the car dealership that's in between the outdoor, I believe cycling, New England cycling business and I forget the name of it, the wilderness facility, wilderness experience. So this is that property that's right in between. Yeah, so there's a residential building.
Within the building, what was there previously?
It was a residential,
Residential.
yes, yep. And then over the years, they built that the one-story building in front for the dealership with the garages on the side of it. So we've gone through the planning process and got the residential use approved. Part of that process was to get this path for access to College Highway, the sidewalk along College Highway. In order to connect that to the building, we have to go within the 100-foot buffer to the wetland off towards the east of the property. So this is simply a 4-foot wide path that goes from the entrance at the rear of the building, around the side, and then down the property line to College Highway. So it's specifically that portion that's within the 100-foot buffer, that's within the jurisdictional area that the RDA was submitted for.
Doesn't bleed into the 50 at all?
No,
The 50 is right
Yep.
here.
What's the material you're using?
we're like a gravel path,
Gravel path?
something that, isn't too costly, it's pretty long. Access to the sidewalk,
Impervious
yeah.
type path?
Yeah, so gravel, so not
Pervious.
asphalt, it's pervious.
Pervious.
It's gravel isn't super pervious, but
Yeah.
it'll
It'll
let see through.
Well, that's basically it, just that
Yeah.
path, huh?
Just that path, yeah.
I like easy ones.
within, it's all, you know, there's no tree clearing, it's all
Yeah.
one area that's all. Just bring it back.
Is
And what's the purpose for the path? It's gonna be
It's gonna be a residential use, so they,
residential access to.
College highways. Right now, if they wanted to get to College Highway, they'd have to go through the parking lot. There's a shared
Yeah.
driveway
Gotcha.
with the adjacent facility so that they can walk and get to College Highway through this path.
Any boundaries on that, like fencing or monuments or anything?
We're not proposing any.
Okay.
How wide? 4 foot wide, and it's in between like the existing, the building and the garage and the driveway. So it's, you know, it's.
Any of the commissioners got any additional concerns, questions? Anybody in the audience, internet? Any questions, concerns? Looking for a motion? It would be either negative or positive determination.
Move for a negative determination.
I'll second that. It's Jerry made the motion. Dennis seconded it. All in favor? Kevin, aye. Met aye.
Norm, I.
Unanimous. Thank you, Phil.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Moore Vining subdivision, request for partial certificate of compliance. That's 8 and 9.
So this is the one you guys actually voted on in the last meeting. It wasn't on the agenda, and we have the corrected paperwork.
Okay,
So
we already voted on it.
you kind of already voted on it. Maybe do it one more time just to make sure it's super official.
Everything was good on your end with the paperwork?
You good with it?
The paperwork's,
The
I
correct-
mean, there was a spelling mistake and
All right.
but the paperwork's
Look for a
good.
motion to approve partial certificate of compliance for lot 8 and 9, Moore Vining subdivision, DEP 292-0409.
Make the motion.
Kevin made a motion,
I'll second that.
Andy seconded it. All in favor?
Jerry, aye.
Jerry, aye. Matt, aye.
Andy, aye.
Norm,
Andy.
I.
Dennis, aye. Unanimous.
The certificate, partial certificate of compliance is in the sign folder. Did you guys sign? I didn't. Okay,
Keep crossing update.
Well, Jesse got a hold of Steve, so we're gonna kind of take care of the erosion problem.
Request into that, have, Steve and Jeff be the erosion control. Good project.
okay,
Moving forward.
okay. So does that need a vote to approve the new erosion control monitor?
Does it? Let's see.
Yeah.
What will we vote on? What would it be?
You guys voted on it.
The replication, the restoration?
No, they just for them, they're gonna,
Oh,
if, like, before a storm.
yeah.
Look
Oh,
at
when you monitor. Yeah.
And then the reporter comes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Gary second, Kevin.
Aye.
Aye. Dennis, aye.
Norm, I.
Yeah, unanimously approved. Thank you.
You need, like I wrote a letter and sent some pictures today, and I know
Yeah.
that it was last minute.
It was.
Printed out paper copies.
Oh,
of-
thank
of
you.
everybody.
Are they colored?
Their color.
Yeah, send them over. They got the black and white.
Yeah. So like,
Sorry, it just
That's
came
okay,
out. I should have,
like it.
I should stop myself. Well, it was the south Hadley Southwick. So it was that sort of thing, yeah.
Take a look at those and reading, we can discuss it further.
There was a few things that were noted. There was some erosion problems on the eastern side of the project on the uphill road. Because Betsy's put in silt fence right along the top of the slope, right at the edge of pavement, to keep anything coming off that slope off the pavement from running down. Also, there's in the storm drain now.
Yeah.
Anything that does go into the road is gonna get filtered before it goes into the storm. So
Are the storm drains open or do they got Marafi on them?
No, they've been,
They're clean and they're functioning?
yeah.
Here's what you're talking about, right?
yes, exactly.
You took these today, huh?
No, I wrote them today. The other day.
There's too much, you can't see anything anymore.
Snow off of it.
There are some areas that do need some additional attention.
Yeah.
On that together, there's some runoff that's coming off of properties. On the road that will work on, some areas instead of using silt fence, we're gonna use core logs. So we're not digging up some of the edges, so there's a guy that's put some,
Grass,
grass
right?
seed down, it's got
Property that we don't. Yeah. We have to do.
put core logs right along the edge of the road, similar to what he's got with the silt fence, but instead of silt fence here, we'll use core logs. We're not digging up the edge of the base.
Great way to start off the new year. Thank you guys for getting on this and start off on
Okay,
So I plan on doing it this week and then. Agreement for the conservation.
restriction, yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
I've been sick. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming down. Appreciate it. And appreciate getting off on the new foot here in the new year and continue working with you guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One oh seven South Loomis is on here. What's
We-
it?
So, I just got a letter from Diane Gale. She just sent it via email. Y'all have one. I guess we can read it into the meeting.
Mhm.
My name is on the upper left-hand corner of that paper.
So it's not a formal complaint?
I didn't actually read it yet.
It's anonymous and it's not a formal complaint. I mean, we get these all the time. There's nothing,
Yes, this is-
nothing to act on until we have some kind of, you know, this is. Let's table this to the next meeting. This is not actionable tonight.
Okay.
Does it even say what it's in regards to?
It goes back a decade.
Oh,
And we had the DEP, we've had the state legislatures, we've been through this, you know, all
Okay.
sorts of which ways. Not something we're gonna resolve in one night, and I'm not even sure if it's our place to resolve it, but.
how close is this to the wetlands?
There's a brook that goes through the property. When I first went out there, 20 odd years ago, they had a bulldozer in the brook.
Is that like, it's on the, obviously the west side of, and like they've got all that, like, there's like campers in the. Is that the address?
Out there, they were new to this country, they were Eastern Europeans, and we want to make nice. You just want to make it nice. We're cleaning the brook out so all this wet stuff goes away. So that's where it started. Bulldozers in the brook and making the wet stuff into dry. And we've been doing enforcement orders. We've had the DEP. We've been through lots of things. We've had to do some restoration out there.
This guy that was throwing wood chips and everything else,
Yeah, the wood chips.
the guy that couldn't speak English and brought his priest to translate for him.
Yes,
I remember.
That's,
Okay.
remember.
All right. Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember
exactly.
well.
We'll dive back into that eventually if we,
Okay.
but, and not much we can do today. Not much we can do tonight, Diane.
Okay, good, well.
PBC conservation project still open. Oh, sorry.
You skipped one. Right here, the Greens West Open Space, possible
Oh.
evaluation of conservation.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
skip me.
Yeah. Are you from the homeowners association?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you realize that you're responsible for any violations on that property?
Actually, message John got.
Can I have your name, please?
Sure it is. Oh, well.
Conservation, yeah, has the authority to oversee that, but it's up to the actual, your administration to be able to resolve the problems.
So,
So we would have to actually write a violation notice to you. Because it's your property.
Did you want us to do that?
well.
So you could present it to that, because there's a meeting.
My initial concern with this was this resident from Winfield had trespass onto green space. He's got an underground cable running into the wetlands. He's got a grounding rod and he hangs an antenna and the box. So I sent John a message to see, do I do anything about this or who does? He told me that town of Southwick has conservation rights because it is conservation. It's wetland.
Not conservation land, it's your land with a conservation restriction on it.
Okay.
And when we did the conservation restriction, it was understood that any kind of violations out there would be taken care of by the homeowners association, will be liable for it. Because we can't expect the town to, police your property.
Right, well, I didn't.
But like, if
John
it would,
told me
if, I don't know what the violation would be, we'd have to go out there and see what, the actual violation.
Assume it would be number one on the conservation easement. Basically saying no structure, essentially.
Yeah,
Is there a structure out there now?
yes, and there's an underground cable. Which he said
Well, I don't
is
think underground cable The structure on the property itself. Is in it too.
On a tree. That's what.
It's some sort of receiver.
So I don't think it would be a major issue for conservation. It doesn't really do anything to hurt the wildlife or anything. I mean, it might be an issue for the homeowners association, but for conservation, if somebody was cutting trees out there, digging holes, doing something that was disrupting nature, then we would be all over it. We would actually have to work with you guys to try to resolve it. But it wouldn't be a priority on our list at this point.
Okay.
If someone were to dig that cable up to repair it, for example, sometime in the future, and it violated our wetland.
Well, he had to dig it to install.
Right, but it's been there, how long?
I would say I just became aware of it when I emailed John. So that's maybe 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Because the board from Winfield contacted me.
Okay, we're gonna send Sabrina out there to take a look at it when the snow melts and
Thank you.
see what we can figure out for you.
Okay.
Do you have a copy of the conservation
No.
easement? There you go.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay,
do.
okay.
Yep.
All right.
So,
We're not gonna be able to see anything now with the snow,
no,
so
but I don't have to do it.
wait till Sabrina lets you know what she thinks, and well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
down.
Antenna,
Antenna like a receiver,
really?
like it's, you know how some people have hobbies, radios and stuff? I think it's one of those.
Can we move over to get these guys, the nomination for Hudson Drive? Is that what we're,
That, I don't think anyone's here for that one.
what's Val here for?
Val's here for, it's on old business, Mort Vining subdivision, possible wetland violation. Sure. I get you guys out.
Happy New Year.
No.
Oh,
So what's this about, Sabrina?
My name is Val Schwartz, owner of the property.
It's Jeff Smith from Suppany Associates. And I'm a scientist. Thank you. So same deal, you guys, each one.
Yeah, give them color.
You guys went out on a site visit to inspect it?
Norm can talk about this as well. Randy Brown, DPW, and John Goddard, DPW Stormwater as well, went out onto the site. Conservation, was mainly concerned if there was, buffer, anything happening within the buffer or any type of wetland, alteration. We went out there, looked like there were some issues with the flagging. They were a bit confusing. Some of them were missing, some of them were, for example, the buffer flagging was blue, so that was a little confusing. So we asked Jeff to reflag the area, which he did, and he did take some photos of the flagging. There was some, according to Jeff, I don't know if you want to take over right now for the buffer alteration.
Good thought.
Okay, Jeff had said that there was some buffer alteration, however, he doesn't feel that the wetlands were impacted. Granted, this was all done before we have the $25,000 bond before pre-construction site visit. So, yeah.
Yes, so, when we went out there and I reflagged some of the wetlands, we pulled 100-foot tape. And we flagged the buffer zone, we used pink and blue flagging and marked them specifically to say 100-foot buffer or BZ. There are areas where they did clear into that outer part of the buffer zone. Not all areas, some areas, there's at least 75 feet of unimpacted buffer zone. I didn't see any areas where there was erosion or sediment reaching the resource areas as a result of the clearing. I think he just got a little off in his clearing.
Sorry.
Everything looks to be pretty stable around all the resource areas. They all look good. There's some areas that, one area that was cleared to the wetland is where the road crossing is. But it's pretty stable. It's revegetated. It's kind of like an open meadow now.
Which wetland are you talking about?
Down
The
near
south,
D, you'll see photos where I
South entrance.
the south entrance,
Right,
okay,
yeah.
Next to the wetland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Resource area.
right.
So, but the wetland hasn't been impacted or crossed. All the work is being, all the access is being done from that north entrance above lots 8 and 9. So I think everything is stable there.
What do you think, Sabrina?
I was actually gonna ask Norm if he has something to say. he was
Well,
there as well.
I'm concerned with having not seen the clearing area since it's been reflagged. I'm a little
Okay.
tired of hearing about mistakes being made and thinking that that we should possibly look at it again with the reflagging.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea.
Mm-hmm. So. We want to schedule another site visit.
Have your snowshoes.
That's like nervously smiling right now.
It's all gonna wash away tomorrow. Be nothing left.
Rain coming.
Yeah, well, let's go.
Fred and I. See, I got for every wetland I got for A, M, K, L, J, H. We're not going near I, that's at the southerly end. C, there's not a road going near it. But D, we are, so, but if you wanna.
Go back in the spring and take a look at it.
You're not gonna do any more clearing right now, are you? Okay. So I feel more comfortable. Good, good.
Hopefully the flags will still be there in the spring and.
I was gonna mention, you might change the stakes because the order of conditions, as I'm reading through mine, indicate they have to stay there until your certificate of compliance is issued. So I'm gonna change the stakes. I just changed mine to states.
Right, and if we get kind of an early melt, we can maybe do the site visit a little earlier.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the growing season or anything. We're not out in the resource. We're
As
looking
soon
at.
as it's accessible.
Yep. Okay, that sounds fair.
Sounds good.
Okay. I think that covers it, right?
I think so.
Okay. Very good.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
I don't have my. No.
Also the meter out. They didn't come.
They asked for continuation.
So nomination of erosion control monitor for 0 Hudson Drive, who's that?
0 Hudson Drive.
0 Hudson Drive is at the end of Hudson Drive, and it used to be, I think, a gravel pit.
Yeah, thinking, where the heck is 0?
It's all the way at the end, and it's going to be a solar field. Yes, that's the solar field. So we did our pre-construction site visit. Everything's all set. Olivia Crosby is going to be the erosion control monitor. And so I assume you guys need to.
I second the motion to. Only because I got a text message this morning. Who the hell is Olivia Crosby?
Oh, I just met her the other.
Dennis made the motion.
I'll second.
Andy- No, Andy made the motion.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'll second it.
Perfect.
I vote yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
Norm?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Olivia's
in.
Just really quick, we did skip over the CPC conservation projects. I just wanted you guys to know that we have $8,126.31 in the CPC conservation trail project. That's the North Pond.
For North Pond, yeah.
And then there's also $5,661.14 for the Goose Pond project. That predates me. So you guys want to do a project?
Was that floating bog?
Yeah, originally we were gonna put the bog bridge out there, yeah.
Did that ever happen? No.
We had the Audubon drop all the plans and everything, but never
followed through.
followed through with it, so we still got money in that.
Yeah, do we want
We
to
should
try
do that.
to? Or do,
What?
That would be nice. It was supposed to go off the bike trail.
Yeah, it's a spur off the bike
It was
trail.
supposed to go off the bike trail halfway down when you pass the houses, the tail houses at Miller. You
yeah,
keep going and halfway down, it's supposed to be on the right.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it's supposed to be an observation deck
yeah.
for trailers and bike folk to
You
pull
just
over and.
Park their bikes there and walk
And,
down.
and see the floating
It's the largest,
bog. marsh
largest
thing.
floating bog in,
Yeah,
at least in Western Mass
that's
anyway.
right. And there's usually a crane nest or something like that.
It's awesome out there.
Yeah.
You just can't get there because it's a bog.
Right.
You can walk on top of it until you sink
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Duck blind.
Someone calling out, how do I get to Goose Pond from the rail trail? I'm like, what?
The money in that account, let's see.
Each pond is further on.
We can dig up the Audubon stuff that we went out there and did a survey with them.
It would be in a file somewhere.
Hope so. We almost lost the guy. He lost his boots out there. He got sucked off them.
Kind of like to the left,
Yeah.
the left of Goose Pond. So this is kind of like Goose Pond is sort of like this. And then the bike trail is over here.
Yeah.
And then the crane nest is about here somewhere.
You'd have to cut a spur through.
And then the thing is supposed to go out like that.
Towards the south of the,
Right, so it's on this side of Goose Pond, not really involving Goose Pond. Once upon a time,
Oh, you know what, Matt? We found out we didn't own the property.
is that what it was?
We thought it was on all the town maps that we owned that property at the time.
Arnold Tobacco.
And that's, yeah, that's what happened. We dropped the
They had
project
it-
because
they had it.
so we don't,
we found out we didn't own the property. That's,
so that's, is that a,
it was,
Historically, it's supposed to be some sort of a canal that
it was Calvin Arnold's
Goose Pond.
property.
Body of water.
Yeah.
Follow that, you can find it, but it's sort of.
But we do own property around that area though.
South Pond, finally.
A dog leg down there, the very bottom of it, so. Yeah, dig out what you can on that. We'll, once we get our open space committee, we can start working on those projects.
Be good.
All right, here's my favorite one. Vote to appropriate 6,900 from the Conservation Trust, AKA Woody Fund, to pay for the 13 Berkshire Avenue land survey and additional funds for legal fees.
you have an email from Kenneth Albano. And he does specify the additional fees.
That's more than 6,000.
Yeah, so it,
Woody Fund.
It used to be.
$13,157.64.
One.
So do you think, do you think that's an okay price for a survey? You have, you have it,
It's supposed to be.
it's an email from Kenneth, yeah. Yeah. So we have,
That one's been sitting fund for. And specifically get purchase property, so we're not actually purchasing the property, it's being donated. That's the, yeah, to pay for the legal fees and
let
stuff.
me just do this one, in case I did it. So 275 for title exam. 146 for title insurance, 1,000 for legal, and 6,900 for the survey. $8,321.
Overrun, we don't have to spend, look at all that. So we have to go for 9,000. Get a motion?
Wow.
Kevin made a motion. To take $9,000 from the Woody Fund towards the land on the Berkshire Avenue.
I'll make a motion.
You gonna second the motion? That seconded it? Andy, aye.
Jerry,
Jerry, aye. Dennis, aye.
Nor I.
Unanimous.
Should I then tell Ken to?
Go
pick the board? Okay,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
We are almost done, I think.
Except for that Nicholson Hill, did that guy ever do the? Did he ever do that?
Him again, and I threatened to fine him, and usually that's when they actually do something. He said that he already paid the guy to fix his silt fences, so he was gonna make sure that it was done. I went out there today. It's a little difficult because of the snow to see if everything's done perfectly, but there has been stuff done.
Last one is we
And we just did that.
did that.
Well done.
Diane, did you have something you want to talk about or?
Yeah, you walked in right when we were like,
We're talking about 107, but nothing's gonna happen on that. I mean, that's 30 years that's been going on. I've had the DEP out there. We had Paul Diga got involved with it. I've had consultants, you know. We can't just go out there. We gotta have a strategy if we're gonna, you know, we can't just go on hearsay that somebody's saying neighbors complaining, so. The owner seems to like women more than he does men, so I think that
he's gonna throw me out there.
he was very nice to he was really nice to Kate Bednez. If you want to see me get in touch with Kate, she's the one that was a wetland consultant that went out there originally for the town and for the DEP. And he was really nice with her, and you know, we got all the wood chips removed that were in the wetland area. And I was telling these guys, when I went out there 30 years ago, they were in the middle of the brook with a bulldozer, just bulldozing the brook out. Like, what are you guys doing? They're we've been getting complaints on that, you know, on a pretty regular basis. Board of Health complaints, trailers, junk cars out back, building department complaints, you know, they're coming in on a regular basis, and you know, some of it's conservation, but a lot of it's got to do with other departments in town too. So we needed to put a coordinated effort together. Yeah. Whatever happened to that drone that we put, oh, the finance committee didn't give it to us. That's right.
Police got.
Police got one?
I think police got,
Maybe we could talk to the police
They
and
ended
yeah.
up with it,
What?
because they wanted one too at the same time.
Yeah, we were gonna all go in on it, and
they got the Westfield one, didn't they?
did they?
I think they got it secondhand, a really expensive one from Westfield, but I'm not sure. Doesn't matter as long as it takes pictures.
Yeah, we can talk to him, see if we can get some footage, see if
He shows up.
get some real
Plays like-
information on it, see what's going on.
Nice. And he's like,
Good
that's all
idea.
good. He goes, "Okay,
Yeah.
I won't do it." He goes back and continues. He's one of those
Great
people.
to have.
Whatever.
So who is in charge of the drone in the police department? We'll find out.
Okay.
Well, adjourn this.
Motion,
Make a motion to end the meeting?
all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, how many trees?